G'day everyone. If you've had trouble with your awning spring letting go off your Carefree awning, I thought I'd do a post to see if I can help you. Often your spring will stop winding back your awning. I'm going to show you what I can do to repair it. So this doesn't take care of a broken spring. It only takes care if it's become unscrewed from the end and won't stay done up. So let's have a look at my fix. First thing we do is to re-engage the spring back onto the boss by screwing the center boss assembly until the spring is housed all the way down as far in as it will go. The problem is, when we pull our awning out, the spring winds in the direction that it actually wants to unscrew. Okay, so here's my plan. I've looked at where the end of the spring stops when it's wound fully on. And there's a gap after the end of it, and I've drilled a hole just a tad too small for this threaded bolt, and I've screwed that in so it's tapped in and very tight and strong. And then I found a nail that's a really tight fit in the end of the collar, and I purposefully tapped it in too far so that the end of the spring can wind past that bolt. And then I'm going to tap that nail back so it captures the bolt. Let's see how that goes. So now I've wound the spring onto the boss, and now I'm going to tap the nail to go behind the screw, and that should stop the collar and the spring of the end from spinning off the threaded, what appears to be threaded boss, which is actually just the spring coils that have made a thread. So there we go. I've just hit the nail back through with a drift, and it's now captured the undo side of that bolt, and that should hopefully stop the arbor, or the boss if you want to call it, from rotating out as the spring winds up under tension. Fingers crossed, hope it works. So here's the other end before I start. This end had also spun off. Ignore this drill mark here. I did that as another experiment to see if I could capture it by putting an R pin or a split pin through there and packing it all the way with washers so that it's really tight. But it didn't work, because every time there's a round, it expands by one thickness, and I have to do 12 rounds to make it load. It didn't work. But anyway, here it is. This is the alignment of the gap underneath, and then you can see where I've drawn a dot there. That's where I've got to put the stopper screw. That way this end three-legged boss can't undo, because it's going to be captured by the pin that comes through the collar. I'll try that. Alright, so I've drilled a hole. When you drill a hole, make sure you don't go through the alloy boss and into that center rod, because that rod has to spin freely of the three-legged boss. So yeah, stop short. So when you screw it in and cut its thread, just make sure that you can still turn the center axle free of that three-legged piece by rotating the end, because you can't lock that up. Alright, so here we are. I've managed to hit the nail in to the collar, and now that'll hold the three-legged boss from unscrewing off the spring as the tension gets up. I'm going to go and give it a try. Okay, fellow campers, it works. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It rolls up fantastic. Couple of tips when you're rolling up the springs: go for a total of 16 turns on each end. Use vice grips to help you with leverage. And also, if you need to do a couple more turns, just a little bit tighter, do it when it's only out about a foot, out about 30 centimeters, because then you've got less wind up spring tension to fight against. Happy days. Saved myself, well, probably $300 per spring just by re-engaging them on the bosses with that trick.